When you hear the word warlord, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture a ruthless general, a chaotic battlefield, or the crumbling ruins of a city. But the reality of warlords in Africa is even more complex and far more devastating than you might imagine. Across modern African history, warlords have been shadowy figures, holding entire regions hostage and shaping nations' destinies from behind the barrel of a gun. But how did they rise to power? The origins of African warlordism run deep. After colonial powers left, many countries were left with weak governments and deep economic divides. Civil wars, coups, and foreign interventions shattered central authority, leaving power vacuums. And guess who stepped in? Ruthless opportunists with guns, charisma, and a knack for exploiting chaos. Armed with militias and funded by illicit trades, think diamonds, gold, or even narcotics, figures like Charles Taylor in Liberia, Joseph Kony in Uganda, and Mohammed Farah Aidid in Somalia rose to infamy. They didn't just fight battles, they manipulated ethnic tensions, spread propaganda, and built entire economies around conflict. And the impact? Devastating. Warlords undermined government, replacing it with their own brutal rule. They set up parallel states controlling trade, mining, and agriculture to fund their wars, often dragging in global criminal networks. National economies collapse, lawlessness spreads, and everyday people pay the price. The human cost is unbearable. Displacement, mass violence, human rights abuses on a shocking scale. Child soldiers torn from their families, women and children subjected to inhuman brutality. The trauma ripples across generations. But there's another side to this story. The world hasn't stood by, silent. International peacekeepers have intervened. The International Criminal Court has prosecuted notorious warlords like Thomas Lubanga and Charles Taylor. The African Union has launched peace missions and economic recovery programs. It's a tough road. Enforcing justice is never easy, and warlords have a habit of reinventing themselves. But progress is real. So what's the solution? It starts with tackling the roots, building strong governments, closing the economic gaps, and keeping outside powers from fueling the fire. Most of all, hope comes from within, brave local communities, dedicated leaders, and resilient people who refuse to let their futures be stolen. Africa's battle with warlords isn't over, but every step toward democracy, every child who returns home, every community that rebuilds, brings us closer to lasting peace. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that matter. Thanks for watching.